is Grant a scam, this or that. I've even had people tell me, have you seen this most recent video of this guy or that guy? Yeah. And I even had people who are like, dude, you need to watch yourself. Grant's not like, he's not like in your core values and different things. And I'm like, guys, you know, I don't know Grant that well. I know him enough that we've had a lot of conversations. I've seen what he does behind the scenes. I've myself have been impacted even when we didn't know each other, just watching what he does. I highly doubt he's scamming people. I can see the real asset. I can see the transparency. And, you know, you're still just going to have people saying whatever no matter what.
Of course, man. I mean, it's, you know, it's a world where you can say whatever you want to whoever you want about whatever you want. Like, YouTube is a clickbait phenomenon. The only way anybody can get subscribers there is to do a video.
Right.
With a big title. This is what I tell my people or our investors. Was I in the video? Did they interview me? Why wouldn't they interview me? It's not like I won't take the interview. I'll talk to anybody about anything. So this is just clickbait, people. So I know it's gonna come as I get bigger, as you get bigger, it's coming, bro. It's gonna come, trust me.
Right.
Then you're gonna have some investor that's not satisfied or some customer, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Like, it's part of the game. While they're doing that bullshit, BlackRock lost $1.7 trillion. It doesn't even make the pages.
Right.
1.7 trillion of your grandmother, mother, father, uncle, aunt out of some mutual fund, and nobody even talks about it. Because they're worried about you or me being scammers when the truth is Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, the insurance companies, the life insurance companies that collect premiums from you every month and never pay. If your parents have to go because they have dementia and they got to go to $1,000 a month care center, that's not covered by insurance.
Right.
So there are plenty of scams on earth. Cardone Capital is not one of them.
I started making content 2.5 years ago, right? I was unknown before then, but I was still good. Like I was flipping houses, grinding, doing my thing, but people didn't know who I was until I started making content being known, right? And now I'm just shoving it down people's throat. Content, content, content. And now I make the majority of my money from the internet, right? Education, things that help people, you know, scalable products, like you said, right? I can't flip that many houses, and I've made a lot of money flipping houses, but this internet thing is infinitely more scalable. Touch on that, man. Like, how did you figure that out?
I was out pitching car dealers. I was selling cars, and then I started pitching car dealers. So I'd go door to door, knock on their doors. Hey, I got an idea. I can show you guys how to double their sales. I started learning my pitch.
Right.
And this has really built the armor around who Grant Cardone would become, like this persistent, tenacious, grinding. But that's not scalable. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk telling me he outworks me. I'm like, bro, we just met. How would you know how much I work or don't work? Like, I didn't even know you till Jared told me about some guy from some other part of the world that was making money selling wine or something. I didn't even know you. How do you know if I work harder than you? What's it matter, by the way? I don't know how that matters. Like, what's the contest here?
Yeah.
You know, and I said, you want to compare jets? You know, that's a contest, right?
Yeah.
So you want to compare who makes the most money. That's a contest. We can measure. I don't know who works harder. My dad died working.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
He worked hard.
Oh, yeah, he worked hard and died. Heart blew up in his chest. So I don't want to do that. I think it's important that people know you for your work ethic. I know you for your work ethic. Now, I didn't know you didn't do weekends.
Yeah.
Because you had the internet do this thing for you. When I discovered the internet, I was 51 years old. And a guy said, hey, man, you could really do some good stuff with Facebook. I said, why do you think that? He's like, well, you're clearly a teacher. You're an educator. You like teaching people. And I said, yeah, what's Facebook? What's this thing, Facebook? I ain't got time for Facebook, bro. Shit, I'm too busy worrying.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, man, Facebook is this thing. It's kind of like YouTube. And YouTube was pretty new. And he walked out of my house. I still remember where I was. And I said, man, you sound like a really negative person. I was saying to myself. And every time I've been that guy, you know, no, I don't have time for that. There's always been something on the other side of that closed door, that closed mind. The guy walks out of my office, and literally I have a Facebook account 3 minutes later, okay? And then we ended up with 6 million people on Facebook. Then Instagram came out, and I started playing on Instagram. I could not figure out Instagram.
Yeah.
For at least probably 4 years.
Wow.
Couldn't figure it out. Now today, man, that thing is just like, we're getting 800,000 views, 600,000 views a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes reached 11 million people last week. But it took me a long time to figure it out because it's a different gig. You look, the first time I saw social media, I was like, well, how often can I post? And they're like, there's no regulation on posting. I'm like, that's some good shit.
That's free.
Well, what can I say? What can I say? anything you want. I said, shit, bruh. You could say you're the best.
Yeah.
And I like that. Because I don't mind telling people I'm the damn best. The first time I heard Muhammad Ali say, I am the greatest, I was like, God damn, why ain't I saying that? He's not even white. And he's saying it. And this back in the 60s, man. I'm like, how much courage does an individual have to say that to the world?
Right.
But if I say it, people are going to be like, oh, you're bragging. Like, I get on my plane and people are like, why are you showing your plane off? Because that's the plane I'm getting on. What should I do? Should I take pictures of me getting on Southwest when I know I'm flying out on a Gulfstream 650? It's mine. The social media for a real estate guy.
Right.
Because you're doing both. You're
Right.
doing something very real that you can either keep the asset or make some money on it, sell it. And then you're doing this internet thing, this like not real. It's this, whatever this thing is.
Right.
To me, the combination of those two worlds is like a superpower.
I think it's like the ultimate cheat code.
Because all these other real estate syndicators that raise money, when the real estate takes a big dump, and it will in this cycle, the only place they get money.
Doing more deals. They need acquisition fees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they'll do bad deals to get their fee.
Whereas you and I can go
Bro,
do education.
I don't need any money. That's why anybody investing with me at Cardone Capital was always going to make more money than if they did it with an institution or a fundraiser or any of these people, because I don't need to steal from the fund. If I need money to pay for anything, I'm like, hey, man, click the link right now. Okay, here's a free book. I mean, I know how to do that stuff.
Right.
And the real estate world will never, ever be able to catch up with that.
Yeah, my main thing was like, dude, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not making content, you're not building your brand, somebody else in your niche is, and they're taking all your customers.
And I truly believe when I watch your stuff showing up in different places, you know, I'm like, he's building so much trust. Like when you say you're pushing it down their throats, I think what really happens is because you're so frequent. I was telling you this earlier. Oh, I recognize that. I recognize that. I think that's the brand. People are not trusted until they're seen over and over. It's what Starbucks does well on street corners. Wells Fargo does it because they're everywhere. Banks create massive credibility because they use big lettering. They're everywhere. They're like, and you're building that brand, you know? And I didn't know I was building the brand. I didn't know I was doing this. I was just like, I hope this works. And everybody was telling me, you're posting too much. You're doing too much. You're bragging too much. You're doing this too much. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens.
And it just keeps working.
I said, they're not telling me to stop. I hadn't got a phone call yet.